So we were talking also about before this about being intimidated by other females and how we deal with that. It's definitely an issue for me. I've gone to psychic readings where they're like, you don't like other women. Like, you have issues with other women. And I'm like, man, like, I feel like I'm a girl's girl. Like, I feel like I'm such a, like, I like love supporting my female friends. But when I do get intimidated, it's this really weird, I used to like be really reactive to it and like, you know, kind of mean about it. But now I have to make this effort to be like, no.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Well,
support. You're intimidated by someone. Ask them out for coffee. Learn about how they did it.
Yeah, because they're probably killing it, and that's why you're feeling that.
And
way.
that's the biggest piece of advice that I would give any woman who feels less than because of another woman, rather than not liking her for it or going to a negative space in your mind where you're like, I'm not fucking good enough. I'm a piece of shit. Look, she's killing it. Like, look how much better she is. Ask her for coffee.
Yeah.
Learn from them.
Time.
Ooh,
when I first saw you, I was like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You just like waltzed right into the comedy club, sat down with the comics, and just like started unpacking your equipment. And I was like, who the fuck is this? And then I listened to a couple of your podcasts and I was like, oh, like she's quite charming. Like she's good. Like I can understand why she was sitting with the comics now. It all makes sense. And then when I was coming over to record the first podcast we did together, I said to my husband, I was like, I'm really nervous. And he was like, about like being on mic. And I was like, no, that's fine. I'm like nervous to like hang out with Sarah. He's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. She's skinny. She has a podcast. I don't know. But it's so weird because like now we're friends and it's just like, and then like the first real conversation we had, you were like, I am so self-conscious. And I was like, thank fuck.
Well, and you sent me such a nice, well, okay, well, there's two things here because it's the body thing is, it's so funny that you said skinny because I do not consider myself skinny.
You're skinnier than
me. But we've talked about the body image issues thing and how deeply personal it is and how fucking terrible it is. I'm like, I gotta admit, guys, like I'm feel comfortable with you, so I'll say this. Like I went through like the month leading up to the live show, I was really like hating everything, really nervous, like, oh, I'm doing this show, I'm gonna be on stage, like everyone's gonna be looking at me. Like I legit like said I was intermittent fasting, but it was like
starving yourself a little bit.
It was like legit probably some disordered eating happening there. And I recognized that it was. And so like I'm not doing that anymore.
Good.
But I realized that I had a problem when I would skip a meal and I would go, yes.
Yeah.
And it was this weird like reward system in my brain.
And you're like, no.
And my brain went, you just scored a point. You skipped a meal. And I just went, this is insane. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
And literally like all that did was made me like after I kind of was done with the live show, I literally ate so much shit. I overate. Like it was this really weird, like I deprived myself so much. And so now I'm just going to eat all the pizza and all the ice cream.
Starve and binge.
And I was just like,
a lot of women do that.
It was so insane. And like, it's one of those things that I have to just remind myself, eat food. Eat fucking food. You're hungry. You love eating. You love the way you feel when you eat. Why are you eating? Because you're not going to lose, like, I'm not going to lose 20 pounds tomorrow.
Exactly. And that was the thing, too, for our show. Like, because I took my titties out. Like,
yes, you did.
I showed a lot more of my body than I normally do. And I was really self-conscious about that as well. And I had to just be like, look, this is what your body looks like. It's not going to look any different by the show. Like, just... This is what you have to work with. Deal with it.
It's I think people are saying, rather than saying body positivity, it's body acceptance.
Yes. Yeah.
So you might not like fully love it.
Yeah.
But you need to accept it. And Demi Lovato said this too, because she's been through some fucking lots of eating disorders and stuff. I'd love to do a whole episode about eating disorders just because like what I experienced recently was probably the closest I've ever came to what I would consider that. And that was just me going... And I snapped myself out of it really quick. And hopefully I won't go back there. But it's hard when you're...
do that, you know?
It's hard when you're a performer. And then you see pictures of yourself. And you see video footage and then you have to be faced with it. Yeah. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I hate this.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting to me that you were that you were nervous to come talk to me because it's like when I saw you on stage, I was just like, I wish I could do that. Because that to me... was confidence.
Yeah.
Because you were not only, like, were you, like, looking amazing. I still have pictures, by the way. I have to send you.
Nice.
but like you were having fun.
Yes.
That was the coolest thing about it. You looked like you were having a good time.
Well, it's so funny the things that we notice in other women that we
Right?
haven't seen ourselves.
This is what this episode is about. We're both just like, I love you more. Yeah, no, but it's insane. But we have to remember that.
Yeah.
And stop assuming that we're automatically less than.